All right, West Virginia fans. So tomorrow, 5 weeks away from the first game of the season. So it's coming. Preseason camp opens up next Wednesday. And before we can get to preseason camp, we need to talk about this running back room because it's by far the most stacked room in the team on the roster, right? So we need to talk about that running back room and highlight these players because I think it's the most underrated running back room in the entire country. So let's get right into this. Again, if you are a fan of the Mountaineers, don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. We're definitely going to be putting out a lot of content over the next few weeks as we get ready for the season. So, like I said at the top, stacked running back room, right? I think it's honestly one of the most underrated rooms in the entire country, this running back room. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. So let's get right into this. And we have to start this off with no other than Jahiem White, right? Jahiem White, we've talked about a lot throughout the summer, back-to-back years with 800 yards. He's a great player, right? He averaged 7.5 yards per carry his freshman year. Took a little step back last year, only averaging 5.7 yards a carry, but ended up with 7 touchdowns. But look how much he improved last year catching the ball out of the backfield. 19 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. He was voted all Big 12 running back of the year going into the season, first team. So that's very exciting for him. Really excited to see what he can do in this West Virginia offense this year. I think he's head and shoulders the number one guy in the room. And I know Mountaineer fans are excited to see him play this year. Let's get into his highlights and show what Jahiem White has to offer to the Mountaineers. So if you see here, this is against Penn State, finds the corner against a really good team. They can do jet sweep stuff with him, and he's off to the races. He's off and running there, shows his explosive ability. Makes a nice cut here versus Iowa State. Nice little stiff arm there, finds the end zone. This was his freshman year versus BYU. Has a nice run up the sideline and yards after the contact right there. Here is a pass catch out of the backfield. Nice little screen here. And again, once you give this guy the ball in space, he is definitely dangerous with the ball in his hands. So again, we're super excited for Jahiem White. I think that he was smart for staying around. I know a lot of guys left to go to the transfer portal after Neil Brown left, but he stuck around, and I think it's going to pay off for him because I think this offense was made for him. But we don't just have Jahiem White in the offense at all, right? There's other guys, and that's why I'm excited for this room as a whole. So let's look at the next guy, Tye Edwards. So he's a funny one because he still has a pending waiver, and we've talked about that a lot as well. He's technically not eligible right now. Now, it looks a lot better for him because Cortez Braham, former West Virginia Mountaineer, just got eligible this week because he went to court. So this might benefit him. But 159 carries, 1,022 yards, 6 touchdowns, averaged 6.4 yards a carry last season. This guy's a big physical back. He almost replaces that CJ Donaldson presence that he had a year ago. So super excited to see this guy. And I absolutely love this guy's highlights. Let's pull it up here. So let's actually start this from the beginning here. So as you can see here, right, big physical back, finds the hole and just hits it hard. Watch the stiff arm right here. Boom, get off me. And again, really hard to tackle here. Again, comes up field, north-south runner is going to find the end zone, get out of his way. He's a monster. Again, super excited to watch this guy because of how physical he runs. Again, we talk about hard edge and the Mountaineer mentality, and this guy definitely has it. So super excited to watch Tye Edwards if he's eligible. I think he's going to be especially effective around the goal line. So I'm super excited for that. Let's see who we got next. Jalen Knighton. So Jalen Knighton is a guy that's played a lot of football in his career, right? He started off at the University of Miami, had 52 carries his freshman year for 209 yards, 145 carries in the next season for 561 yards and 8 touchdowns, and then followed that up with 423 yards in 2022. And then in 2023, 745 yards and 7 touchdowns at SMU. I think last year he was banged up by injury. That's why he had the extra year of eligibility. So we'll gladly take him. He's a nice piece to the running back room. Truthfully, I wouldn't mind seeing him and Jahiem White get on the field at the same time. Again, he's another guy with an impressive highlight tape. So let's pull up Jalen Knighton's highlights to show you just type of player that the Mountaineers are getting here.
And how about Jalen Knighton?
Pause that, and we'll start this over. So again, look how fast he is here, right? He hits the corner. This is against Charlotte last year. That was like a 90-yard touchdown run. This is against Tulane, finds the hole. Again, gets up the field, has a lot of speed, and is going to make contact there. Again, nice cut here against Georgia Tech, finds the end zone. I love this here. Watch this move. Boom. Nice juke against North Carolina. He's off to the races, and he's gone. This is against Pitt, so Mountaineer fans will love this. This was his freshman year, right up the middle. Has that home running playability, right? And that's what you need in a Rich Rodriguez offense, guys that can hit the home run. I think a lot of the time over the last few years, West Virginia has missed out on some explosive plays, right? And I think that this guy here, Jalen Knighton and even Jahiem and Tye Edwards, they're going to bring that home run ability back to the West Virginia offense. So, again, super excited for this guy. He's definitely going to be in the mix at running back. Let's talk about some other wild cards here that, we're not going to really show their highlights because they haven't played yet on the Division I level yet, but these are some interesting guys that you have to pay attention to too. So let's talk here. Let's start with Sincere Bowers. So Sincere Bowers, he made a lot of noise when Jahiem White a few weeks ago put out his 40 time because he's off of a knee injury. And then he put his time up. But look at Sincere Bowers' 40 time, a 4.35 40 time. That's super impressive. Last year at Iowa Central Community College, he had 155 carries for 1,000 yards, and he scored 12 times. And he also caught the ball out of the backfield, 24 catches for 363 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this guy has, again, home run playmaking ability, and he's fast. A 4.3 40, numbers don't lie, right? And this guy can definitely hit that home run. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of carries this guy can get here in year one with West Virginia. He has a lot of years of eligibility left, so if he doesn't see the field much this year, he could still see the field in future years. So that should be cool. Let's see who else we got here. Canon Katzer. So this is one that Phil Steele was kind of hyping up here. Interesting player here, right? 3-star as a transfer. The 58th overall running back, according to 24/7 Sports, was actually rated higher than Jalen Knighton, who we just showed from SMU. So that's pretty impressive that he's getting that big of a rating from 24/7. Look at his stats last year at Division II, Ferris State, 1,128 yards on 128 rushes for 11 touchdowns, and he averaged 75 yards per game. Again, he's in this crowded, stacked running back room. It's going to be interesting to see what they want to do with him. But I think it's, again, a nice depth piece for Rich Rodriguez and that offense. So super excited to watch this guy play as well. And then the last guy that we want to talk about is Dior Hubard, right? So Dior Hubard had a really good spring. They were hyping him up a lot during spring ball this spring, and he stuck around. A lot of the guys that were in the running back room, some of those guys transferred in and ended up transferring out because they saw the writing on the wall and how stacked the room is. They have a plan for this guy. It's going to be interesting to see what the plan is because, like I said, there's probably 5 to 6 backs right now that I feel comfortable with carrying the ball. This guy was a 3-star prospect out of high school, the 37th overall player out of Ohio, and the 65th overall running back. So he's a redshirt freshman, I believe. So I think he has 4 years of eligibility left. He played very sparingly last year. So this is a guy that, again, if he doesn't see the field a lot this year, we'll have some time to make space for next year. Let's see. We got a comment here. Let's put this up here on the board. Let me just remove this. So it says, speed kills. Give the ball to the playmakers. No more playing favorites. Time to win some football games. Best players play. I agree. I agree with you. And that's my good buddy, Jimmy G. I know that's your company, so he's been on the show. So good talking to you, Jimmy. I agree, right? And I think when we talk about earned success, with which is what Rich Rodriguez has talked about over the last few years, he talks about earned success, right? And this running back room, I think even for Jahiem White, right? If Jahiem White started off slow, don't be surprised if like Tye Edwards or Jalen Knighton gets the first snaps. Now, do I believe that's going to happen? No, but I think Rich Rodriguez is trying to build that culture. I have another comment here from WVU Mountaineer Lair with Kenny. Hey, Jersey, how are you? I subscribed. Hey, I appreciate it, man. We're a very young channel, right? We have only been in business for about 6 to 7 weeks, and it's really grown. We've done a lot of stuff. So definitely say hello, drop comments, and subscribe to the show. It's awesome to kind of interact. I just started doing live streams this week to try to change it up. So I really appreciate everyone's comments. I got another comment here. Hit that like button. Yeah, absolutely. Spread it to your friends, right? We're trying to grow this channel, especially as football season goes. The more subscribers that we get, the more stuff that we can do. When we go to ask players to come on or former players, it's going to hold a lot more weight if we have a lot more subscribers. So that's kind of the plan I want to have for the show, right? Do these videos, break down games, go live. But I also would like to get some former players on to talk about their experience at West Virginia. So the only way that that can happen is if we grow this channel and get more subscriptions. But I really appreciate you guys. If you guys have any more questions for me, I'll stay on for a few more seconds. If not, we'll probably wrap this up. It's a short video. I'm getting the itch for football season, though. Right? It's coming. Like I said, Wednesday is the opening practice, and when that happens, I'm going to be watching those press conferences that Rich Rod does every day, and break those down on what he said. Hopefully, he shares a little bit more. But anyway, that's probably the video, right? We're at 11 minutes. So I appreciate you guys hopping on for the short time that you did. Again, please like and subscribe, share the channel with other people. We appreciate it. Let's go Mountaineers. Let's have a good football season. Can't wait to watch these running backs this upcoming season.